Earlier this year, after seeing content about Love and Deepspace for months, I finally caved and started playing it. Then in May, I was driving down the road listening to my music on shuffle. Some Taylor Swift songs came on, and I thought, this reflects Caleb. Another came on, this reflects Silas, and so on, to the point where I was like, this could be one of those "Your Lads Boys, Your Taylor Swift Song" posts. But never one to half-ass things. I decided to listen through her entire discography and assign songs to each guy. And here we are. Just to let y'all know where I stand, these are my biases. I also looked at what I knew about each of the guys, and guess what their eras would be. Xavier appears cozy with fairy tale and cottagecore vibes, so fearless. Raphael seems carefree and a bit bratty but friendly, so speak now. Zayn reflects winter. He's reserved but also caring, so evermore. Silas is dangerous and intense, so reputation. And Caleb is playful and has a summer vibe, so 1989. Now, I listened through each album in order, and that's how we'll be looking at them today. Along with the guys, I added two more categories, Skip and MC, for songs that either don't fit the vibe or they reflect MC more. I've also decided to look only at one version of each song. Now, if you don't care about my reasoning and want the final overview, skip ahead to the timestamp on the screen. Now, if you got through that intro, let me introduce myself. I'm MJ. I've always wanted to do video essays, but this is my first one, so press like and hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see any more of this. It'd really mean the world to me. Alright, let's jump in. Starting at the very beginning, we have Debut. Tim McGraw goes to Caleb because it's got a strong summer teen love vibe, and if any of the guys represent summer and teen love, it's Caleb. This song also mentions unsent letters, which reminds me of the floating Flora letters memory, where we find out that, during school, Caleb wrote letters to MC in case he didn't make it home from a mission. Next, Picture to Burn. The vibes of this breakup song don't fit the characters, so skip. Teardrops on My Guitar, again, goes to Caleb because yearning. No one learns like Caleb, no one yearns like Caleb, no one goes through a door and explodes like Caleb. A Place in This World goes to MC because of the lyric, I'm just a girl trying to find a place in this world. Cold as You is a skip. The Outside goes to Zayn because nobody ever lets me in and I can see you. This ain't the best view, on the outside looking in. Gives me Dawnbreaker, taking over Zayn with MC knowing it isn't her Zayn. Tied Together with a Smile doesn't fit for me because none of the love interests would, quote unquote, leave you out like a penny in the rain. You could view Stay Beautiful from the POV of MC complimenting current Zayn with, you're beautiful every little piece, love, don't you know you're really going to be someone, focusing on his appearance. And I'd argue that a cardiac surgeon who saves lives for a living really is someone. Alternatively, you could also view it from a Dawnbreaker perspective with, if what you are is a daydream I'll never get to hold, at least you'll know. Because he gets peeks into current Zayn and MC's relationship, but doesn't get to have that happiness for himself. Another breakup song that doesn't fit the vibe is Should Have Said No. Mary's song goes to Caleb because of the childhood friends to lovers story. Also, the slamming doors instead of kissing goodnight, you stayed outside till morning light, reminds me of the Hidden Waves memory, where MC and Caleb have an argument the night before. Then the next day, Caleb gets sick and MC spends all day trying to convince him to open the door to let her take care of him. Our song goes to Xavier for sneaking out late tapping on your window, because there's a Moments post where he literally ends up on MC's balcony. I'm Only Me When I'm With You goes to Caleb because you drive me crazy half the time, the other half I'm only trying to let you know what I feel is true. Don't want to fly if you're still on the ground, and everything I need is right here by my side. Just to sum up their relationship. Invisible goes to Xavier. While it is a yearning type song, it's not on the same scale as Caleb. This yearning feels more at a distance, which fits as he's actively seeking MC and is the only love interest who hasn't reincarnated. A Perfectly Good Heart immediately made me think of Silas's dragon myth. Lines like, "No matter what you say, I still can't believe you'd walk away," and "Why would you want to take our love and tear it all apart? Why would you want to make the very first scar? Why would you want to break a perfectly good heart?" feel perfect from alternative MC's perspective. While not on the album, I've placed Crazier under this era. I loved this song in the Hannah Montana movie, and honestly believe it feels more Fearless than debut. However, since it didn't appear as a vault track in Fearless TV, I've put it here, and I give it to Zayn. You showed me what living is for. Shows how MC makes him feel alive. And the second verse, I watched from a distance as you made life your own. Every sky was your own kind of blue. And I wanted to know how that would feel, and you made it so real. Reflect his experience after the accident, when he hurt MC and then stayed away until they were both older. Next up, it's Fearless. The title track goes to Silas because what fits jumping off of tall buildings, see Standard Myth, and jumping out of planes, see 4-star card, more than you take my hand and drag me head first, Fearless. 15 is a skip. Xavier gets love story because of the royalty vibes, and the fact that Xavier's floral bloom shirt made me immediately think of this song's music video. And Lightseeker Xavier wanting to run away with MC gives Romeo and Juliet. Hey Stephen is definitely in Caleb's perspective, because no one yearns like Caleb. Whitehorse gives sad boy Xavier vibes. Also, current MC isn't a princess, while Philos, however you pronounce it, MC is. You Belong With Me goes to The Boy Who Yearns. Finally, Raphael gets a track with Breathe, because lyrics like, I can't breathe without you, but I have to, and it's the kind of ending you don't really want to see because it's a tragedy and it'll only bring you down. Now I don't know what to be without you around. Feel like the new Sea God myth. Tell Me Why is a skip, because it's a You Did Me Wrong song. You're Not Sorry has to be from MC's perspective when Caleb comes back. Especially with, looking so innocent, I might believe you if I didn't know. Could have loved you all my life if you hadn't left me waiting in the cold. And you got your share of secrets, and I'm tired of being the last to know. And she hates all those secrets. That's the Way I Loved You also goes to Caleb because the chorus describes their relationship and behaviours. Notably, you're so in love that you act insane. Raphael gets Forever and Always for the chorus because it could fit any timeline. Also, Did You Forget Everything applies to how Child MC forgot their promise to meet back on the beach. The Best Day is a skip because it's a mother-daughter song. Change goes to Xavier for You Know It's All the Same, Another Time and Place, repeating history and you're getting sick of it. Jump and Fall goes to Silas because MC has jumped and fell into the dangerous life of the Honor Kindness leader. Also because Silas girlies really like his laugh. And thus, without a warning, I realize your laugh is the best sound I have ever heard. Untouchable goes to Xavier because it constantly references stars, and it's got that distant yearning feeling to it. Come In With the Rain also goes to Xavier because you could view it as either him waiting to be let into her life or for her waiting for Lumiere. Raphael gets Superstar because he's literally a superstar of the art world, while MC may view herself as no one special, just another wide-eyed girl who's desperately in love with you. Caleb gets The Other Side of the Door because I said leave, but all I really want is you to stand outside my window throwing pebbles screaming I'm in love with you reminds me of Hidden Waves. Today Was a Fairy Tale goes to Prince Xavier for the royalty vibes, and cause You've Got a Smile Takes Me to Another Planet could be like when he remembers something from Philos and Alternative MC. You All Over Me's chorus could refer to how Xavier's had multiple MCs and has lost her in every completed timeline. Mr. Perfectly Fine isn't really applicable to the boys. We Were Happy talks about sunsets and boats on the water, so it goes to Raphael. Also, Talking About Your Daddy's Farm We Were Gonna Buy Someday shows a couple talking, planning their future. much like how Raphael had made plans for life with his beloved bride. That's When specifically gives the vibes of Caleb coming back into MC's life after the explosion, especially when you said, "I did you wrong, made mistakes and put you through all of this." Then through the phone came all your tears and I said, "Leave those all in our past." It's got that yearning quality, but specifically after a fight that threatens the future of the relationship. Don't You is another skip. I gave Bye Bye Baby to Xavier, since Xavier lost Queen MC in his new myth. I haven't read the card, but it seems like they were excited for the future and possible baby, but she dies, which is reflected in, "I was so sure of everything I thought we'd always have." Now, if this was a movie wasn't on the OG or TV version of the album, but was re-recorded and given the TV cover, so it's fair game. With lyrics like 6 months gone and I'm still reaching, it feels like MC's thoughts and feelings after Caleb's explosion, so that's where it goes. With that rounding out the Fearless era, it's on to Speak Now. Raphael gets mine. For MC and Raphael, sitting by the water could be the beach. The proposal in this song's music video made me think of My Beloved Bride. We're gonna make it now could mean they're actually going to survive in this timeline. And I can hear Raphael saying, "Cutie, I'll never leave you alone." Having referenced Green Eyes, Zayn gets Sparks Fly. The line, "I see sparks fly whenever you smile," reminded me of him because he's generally got more of a neutral look on his face, so it's special when he does. Further, "I'm captivated by you, baby, like a fireworks show," made me think of Everlasting Wish when he's nuzzling MC. Back to December was nearly a skip because of how breakup-y it is, but I gave it to Raphael because it gives Purple Tortured Artist vibes, plus I could see it as an MC apologizing to him sort of song. Speak Now and Dear John were skips because A, no one's broken up a wedding yet, and B, because no one's been hurt like that before. Zayn gets Mean because I can see it as a Zayn to Astra song. Raphael gets The Story of Us because I don't know what to say since the twist of fate when it all broke down, but The Story of Us looks a lot like a tragedy now. Can be seen as every time Raphael has lost his beloved bride, and Next Chapter could imply the next reincarnation. As a song about wanting to grow up, then once grown, wishing to go back to when life felt familiar, Never Grow Up goes to MC. It's sad, yet cute. And MC has a history of liking cute things. Raphael gets Enchanted because he leaves MC a little stunned after their first meeting in the main story. I know it's more negative in context, but still. Also, this is me praying that this was the very first page, not where the storyline ends, could reflect how he feels, because this is the first time he's seen her since they were children. Better Than Revenge is a skip because it's just not the vibe. Innocent goes to Zayn because life was easier in your lunchbox days, before the accident where he hurt MC. He also did some things you can't speak of to his friend on Mount Eternal during the never-ending winter anecdote story. Haunted and Last Kiss give Raphael C. God vibes, with lines like, come on, don't leave me like this, I thought I had you figured out, something's gone terribly wrong, you're all I wanted, I'm haunted," and "You told me you loved me, so why did you go away? Your name forever, the name on my lips, just like our last kiss." Long Live goes to Xavier for the overall and royalty vibes. Ours seems like an MC to Zayn song. Seems like there's always someone who disapproves, they'll judge it like they know about me and you. Feels like Astra is judging them, but and life makes love look hard, the stakes are high, the water's rough, but this love is ours. Is MC assuring him that they'll be fine this time? Zayn also gets Superman, he's tall, check, has dark hair, check, and is complicated, check, check. Insert Baby No Money reference here. To save the world or go to work, it's the same thing to me, is true because he saves lives as a doctor, and he's not all bad like his reputation. Also works because while appearing cold and intimidating, he really isn't. Electric Touch goes to Caleb because maybe the stars align, and maybe I call you mine, and you won't need space or string me along while you decide. Feel to me like Caleb wanting the playing of feelings with MC to end, and for her to finally choose him. When Emma Falls in Love describes a girl in love, so MC, I Can See You has an element of danger to it, as it's a relationship that's under wraps, so Silas. Because what's more under wraps than the relationship between Oneikinus' leader and a hunter? Castle's crumbling goes to Xavier, as the title could refer to the destruction of Philos. Plus, Once I Was the Great Hope for a Dynasty gives Prince Xavier. Foolish One feels like old days Caleb and MC, with You Give Me Just Enough Attention to Keep My Hopes Too High feels like the old dance around the feelings dance, and Foolish One, Stop Checking Your Mailbox for Confessions of Love That Ain't Ever Gonna Come, giving that sad yearning of young Caleb. Timeless is a song that could be applied to any pairing, since it's a song that looks at different loves throughout history, or timelines if you will, and that regardless of the situation, the couple would still love each other. It's honestly the only song that I couldn't figure out which love interest to give it to, so it goes to MC. Now it's time for Red. Xavier gets State of Grace because the first verse encapsulates his experience of looking the same, but having existed for hundreds of years, to the point where life becomes dull. The song also mentions blue eyes. And these are the hands of fate, you're my Achilles heel. This is the golden age of something good and right and real. Reflect how this timeline may be the right one, because it was fate that he overshot time travel by 214 years. Red goes to Silas for many reasons. A. Loving Silas means accepting the thrill and danger that comes with it, which is reflected in the opening line. Plus, he's probably got the funds to buy said Maserati, so... Further, you would look at the chorus as referring to alternative MC's experience having to live life without her dragon. Besides, red is literally his colour. Treacherous is definitely a Caleb song. The first line, put your lips close to mine as long as they don't touch, out of focus eye to eye till the gravity's too much, reminds me of No Return Night, when he's wishing to be close to MC, but isn't going to go for it unless she wants it too, which she does, shown by how she returns to give him a gift. The chorus could reflect how transitioning their relationship from childhood friends / foster siblings to lovers is dangerous, because they can never go back to how they were, but both of them are willing to be reckless to see how this will go. I Knew You Were Trouble was nearly a skip, but I realised you could make a Silas edit with it. Like the first line of the chorus could be MC's thoughts on Silas the first time she sees him. For All Too Well, I'm only counting the 10-minute version, as it is the superior version, and this was also nearly a skip, but in the end I gave it to Zayn. Mainly for the line in the bridge, but maybe this thing was a masterpiece till you tore it all up, running scared I was there, I remember it all too well, as it could refer to his evil accident. 22 also was a near skip, but I gave it to Xavier because Tonight's the Night, when we forget about the deadlines / heartbreaks, shows how he's going to ignore his looming deadline. You know, the whole,
this is my 214th spring on Earth, and it will be my last.
I almost do as in Zayn's POV, but before he becomes MC's doctor, with that I can't say hello to you without risking another goodbye, showing how he doesn't want to hurt her again. Alternatively, you could view it as a Dawnbreaker song as, in my dreams you're touching my face and asking me if I want to try again with you, and I almost do. Refers to how his consciousness connects to Zayn's, and thus he sees MC. We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together is a skip, as it's a poppy breakup song. Raphael gets Stay Stay Stay, with the line, that's when you came in wearing a football helmet and said, okay, let's talk. You would expect a more sporty boy like Caleb to get this song. However, I think it's a fun headcanon for Raphael to randomly have sports equipment for artistic inspiration. Further, the other boys may just talk the problem out, while Raphael would be that little bit extra, given that the man expected her to catch him when he fell from a ladder. The Last Time has General Zayn sad vibes, and Holy Ground has General Caleb vibes. Raphael gets sad, beautiful, tragic because We had a beautiful magic love there. What a sad, beautiful, tragic love affair. Has sea god vibes. The lucky one is a skip. For the green eyes, and because the boy deserves a nice song. Everything has changed goes to Zayn. Also, and all I feel in my stomach is butterflies, the beautiful kind making up for lost time, fits because they did lose time due to the Evol accident. Xavier gets Starlight, mainly because it reminds me of his Evol. Continuing the hopeful vibes for Zayn, he gets Begin Again. This one reminds me of A Frozen Promise, where MC finds Zayn alone in the cat cafe and decides to join him. The Moment I Knew goes to Caleb, but it's from MC's perspective post-explosion because he should have been there. Caleb also gets Come Back to Be Here, and again it's from MC's POV. It fits because Caleb is always away, either in Skyhaven or on a mission, and how strange that I don't know you at all fits with how he's always keeping at least one secret from MC at all times. Girl at Home and A Better Man are skips because the guys aren't like that, and Ronan, while a sweet song, is for a boy who died after his battle with cancer and is thus not appropriate. Nothing New goes to MC for its relatable sad girl vibes. Babe is a breakup song that doesn't fit, so skip. Silas is 1000% message in a bottle because it's got that we like each other but we haven't put a label on it yet vibe that he and MC have. Plus, I know you like me and it's kind of frightening works because their relationship is basically forbidden, and that makes it all the more exciting. While all the guys do think about MC, I Bet You Think About Me is a skip because it's from the perspective of a breakup and no one is looked upon favourably. Forever Winter goes to Zayn for his Snow Evol, but it also gives the vibes of MC comforting him because the boy has trauma. Silas gets Run. Run, like you run from the law, which is literal because the man is wanted by law enforcement because he's the leader of Honor Kindness. Also, the man likes singing, and he'll definitely sing like no one cares. Caleb gets The Very First Night, as I Wish I Could Fly, I'd Pick You Up and We'd Go Back in Time, has pilot vibes, and I think he does take MC flying in an aircraft during his birthday, or at least during the event. Further, Not Trying to Fall in Love, but We Did Like Children Running, We Broke the Status Quo, demonstrates that they've loved each other since childhood and broke their status quo by finally acknowledging those feelings, thus escaping the friend zone. Now, onto our 2 Hunger Games songs that have been assigned to this era. Silas gets Safe and Sound because it feels like a lullaby he would sing, and he and MC did come from a Hunger Games-like arena? ? And Xavier gets Eyes Open because winning battles with our wooden swords reminds me of a moment in the new myth. And with that, we're on to 1989. Welcome to New York is a skip because no one's particularly excited by moving in the game. MC gets Blank Space. Since this is a romance sort of game, she has a blank space, and we, the players, fill that with whichever love interest name we want. Style goes to Caleb since I Watch Us Go Round and Round Each Time reminds me of their Will They Won't They dance. And for When We Go Crashing Down, We Come Back Every Time, because they do, just like Caleb. Caleb also gets Out of the Woods. Asking, are we out of the woods, could equate to, are we safe from ever? Then, Your Necklace Hanging from My Neck and Two Paper Aeroplanes Flying, Flying, Flying are just Caleb coded. Further, the bridge could reflect that while Caleb did explode, so MC could be safe from ever, regardless of the pain it caused her, she's just so relieved to find him alive 7 months later. 1989 is very Caleb coded, because he's also getting All You Had to Do Was Stay, as it can describe MC's reflection on the whiplash of emotions from finding out that he was still alive while he tries to make his way back into her life. MC gets Shake It Off for the fun vibes. I Wish You Would goes to Silas because it's always 2 a.m. in this song, and he's basically nocturnal. Bad Blood is a skip for the lack of betrayal, currently anyway. Silas gets Wildest Dreams because tall, check, handsome as hell, Double check is so bad but does it so well. Triple check. Also, if someone told me that Silas said, let's get out of this town, drive out of the city, away from the crowds to MC, I'd believe them. How you get the girl is Caleb's checklist for how he would win MC back post-explosion. This love goes to Raphael for all the mentions of the sea, and with this love is alive back from the dead, these hands had to let it go free, and this love came back to me, as he's got his beloved bride again. I know places as Silas's POV, should the Hunters Association find out that Miss Hunter has been fraternizing with the leader of Honor Kindness. Since Clean is about being free from a relationship, it doesn't fit the game and is a skip. Wonderland mentions green eyes, so it goes to Zane. It would also be an MC's POV, where all alone or so it seemed, but there were strangers watching and whispers turned to talking and talking turned to screams, showing that she's noticing Astra, who starts communicating with Zane, only to ultimately end him. That's just the vibes. I don't think that actually happens in-game. You could make a case for any love interest with "you are in love," but I gave it to Zane as you two are dancing in a snow globe round and round gives Dawnbreak promise energy. Xavier gets new romantics because they've got matching sort of nonchalant energy. Slut gives if MC and Raphael were to go to some fancy art event together. Say Don't Go is Xavier's POV, because this is literally his experience. Since there's no breakup arc, we'll skip Now That We Don't Talk and Is It Over Now? Suburban Legends goes to Caleb. It mentions summer, and them being together at a class reunion may surprise people given they were raised together. Further, I broke my own heart because you were too polite to do it, reflects how he kept his yearning under wraps for years, thus breaking his own heart. Reaching the halfway point, we've arrived at reputation. Silas gets ready for it, for the overall dangerous vibes, and since MC literally knew he was a killer the first time that she saw him. He'll also get endgame. Both Silas and MC have big enemies. The lyric, "I got a bad boy persona, that's what you like, you love it too, 'cause you my type, you hold me down and I protect you with my life," is literally Silas. And their relationship would be a big conversation, because they're on opposite sides of the law. I Did Something Bad was nearly a skip, but I again gave it to Silas because if a man talks shit then I owe him nothing. I don't regret it one bit because he had it coming, reminds me of his standard myth where he blows up Mr. Covey. Caleb gets Don't Blame Me because the boy is literally crazy for her, like tracking her without her consent. Also, for this line, for you, I would cross the line, I would waste my time, I would lose my mind. They say she's gone too far this time. As he crosses the line by working forever, wastes his time by not confessing to her, loses his mind from the touring chip, and has gone too far by tracking her and by giving her medicine for her cold in the main story that makes her drowsy, thus sedating her. Delicate is definitely Silas coded. His reputation's never been worse, so you must like me for me. And not only does he literally have a mansion, but he's huge. I know where some of your minds have probably gone from that, and I meant in stature, not in anything else. Thank you very much, get your minds out of the gutter. Look what you made me do as a skip for now, but I could be convinced of a Silas argument. Xavier gets So It Goes because he's a chill little bunny until jealousy rears its head, thus reflecting I'm so chill but you make me jealous. Gorgeous goes to Raphael because I could see MC making fun of how he talks. He's pretty, has some ocean blue in his eyes, and I can see MC saying, guess I'll just stumble on home to my cats alone unless you want to come along, and Raphael agreeing but being hesitant about the idea of a cat encounter. Getaway car nearly went to Zane, following a sort of Astra narrative, but the overall vibes really didn't fit, so skip. King of My Heart is Silas coded. Caleb gets Dancing with Our Hands Tied because he's 25 years old. The line, "'cause it's gravity keeping you with me," links to his evol, and I had a bad feeling. Could be literal because Eva was involved, but maybe if you squint. It could be a Star Wars reference because I think the headcanon is the boy is a nerd. Silas gets dressed because he's literally brought MC dresses. Since no one's been backstabbed yet, this is why we can't have nice things is a skip. Caleb gets call it what you want since MC literally trusts him like a brother. He's fly like a jet stream as he's a pilot. And he does wear a chain round his neck. And when he doesn't, she does in the main story. Post-explosion but pre-reunion. New Year's Day feels like it's in Raphael's POV should he and MC host a New Year's party for his Art or Lemurian friends. It gives his overall sad vibe as he's afraid to lose his bride again. With that, we've reached Lover. Since everyone's unable to move on, I forgot that you existed is a skip. With Cruel Summer, you can make an argument for Caleb, but I went with Silas because of the lyric, he looks up grinning like a devil, and devils roll the dice, angels roll their eyes. What doesn't kill me makes me want you more. Reminding me of his standard myth, where he takes MC to a business deal, and she ends up winning the card game. Lover is a song that could go to any of them, but I ultimately gave it to Xavier because I can hear Xavier saying the first two lines of the first verse in a lazy, we'll do it later type of way. And the line, a dazzling haze, a mysterious way about you, dear, could refer to his Lumiere persona. MC gets the man, because a girl boss got a girl boss. She also gets the archer, because as a hunter, our girl is always ready for combat. Also with lyrics like, who could ever leave me, darling, but who could stay? Can describe her feelings should she get all her current timeline and possibly some alternative timeline memories back. I think he knows nearly went to Caleb, but the lyrics want to see what's under that attitude, and I ain't gotta tell him I think he knows made me think of Silas, as he and MC have a deep understanding of each other, but were very hesitant to label the relationship. Caleb now gets one with Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, because for him, it literally is you and me, that's my whole world. Further, the lyric, and I don't want to go, I don't really want to fight because nobody's gonna win, I think you should come home, could reflect how Caleb had to leave to protect MC, how he doesn't want to fight with her, and how she just wants him home. While I know he could afford whatever MC would ever want, Silas gets paper rings. The line, I hate accidents, except when we went from friends to this, reminds me of how he called MC besties in Melodic Weave. Further, when you jumped in first I went in too reminds me of their repeated tendency to jump off things from great heights. Cornelia Street goes to Caleb, since if one lost the other, they'd probably never walk down the street of their old home. Moreover, I get mystified by how the city screams your name, reflects how they have memories of each other spanning years all across Lincoln City. With lyrics like, I look through the windows of this love even though we boarded them up, and cause the morning comes and you're not my baby, Death by 1,000 Cuts is 1000% a Dawnbreaker Zayn song. For London Boy, I think it would be fun to make a parody called Lincoln Boy, so that limits us to Caleb or Zayn. Ultimately, I went with Caleb because of stories from uni, and we are watching rugby with his school friends. Reflects his friendships with Gideon and others from his Aerospace Academy days. Zayn gets Soon You'll Get Better because he literally became a doctor to find a cure for MC. False God could be argued for any of the love interests, though I went with Silas for the vibes. Further, you could look at, we were stupid to jump in the ocean separating us, remember how I'd fly to you, metaphorically, with the ocean being the divide between the hunters at Onakainus, thus making flying their trips between Lincoln and the N109 zone. You Need to Calm Down as a skip. Afterglow goes to Caleb, as he's literally the one who burned us. Further, this excerpt from the chorus feels like Caleb's guilt for what the explosion and his fake death put MC through. Me goes to MC. Could probably make a parody called MC Hee Hee. It's Nice to Have a Friend goes to Caleb because childhood friends to lovers. Need I say more? Xavier gets Daylight. It's got light in the title, so give it to the light evil boy. He'll also get All of the Girls You Loved Before, as he hasn't reincarnated and has loved every version of MC that he's encountered. With that, we've entered the 2020s with Folklore. For the subtle yearning of what could have been, Raphael gets the one. In my headcanon, Raphael would be the love interest to be most accepting if MC fell for someone else, but he would be very sad and probably talk to his aunt forever about it. Caleb gets Cardigan for its theme of young love, and the lyric stepping on the last train, as Caleb probably has caught the last train whenever he had to travel back to Skyhaven, just to maximize his time with MC. MC gets the last great American dynasty, as she had a marvelous time ruining everything, could describe, from a certain point of view, how MC has ruined the lives of each love interest and timeline by either dying or being the reason the love interest dies. Exile goes to Xavier. I can see you staring, honey, like he's just your understudy, reflects his jealous tendencies, and you are my crown now, I'm in exile seeing you out, reminding me of King Xavier, R.I.P. My tears ricochet go to Raphael, cause R.I.P. Sea God. MC gets Mirror Ball, as any version of MC in the 4-star still arts is basically a reflection of the featured love interest, and thus she can change everything about me to fit in. 7 goes to Caleb for the childhood love theme and mentions of summer. Raphael gets August for its beach vibes, and that it sort of gives Sea God for its sad vibes and the yearning in. It's hard to be anywhere these days when all I want is you. Caleb gets This Is Me Trying. Illicit Affairs was a near skip, but I went with Raphael because the sadness of, look at this godforsaken mess that you made me, you showed me colours you know I can't see with anyone else, fitting the grief of the sea god myth. But it also relates to his artistry as he keeps looking for new colours but can't find the same ones he saw when with her. Invisible String goes to Silas, as I see this as a song he would hum along to. Mad Woman didn't fit, so skip. Zane gets Epiphany for its sad vibes and the military doctor references, which remind me of his time on Mount Eternal. Betty was a skip, as I couldn't see it fitting any situation. Peace goes to Raphael. The lyric, I'm a fire and I'll keep your brittle heart warm, not only references his fire evil, but also her protocol syndrome heart, and shows his desire to do his best to avoid the same fate that has befallen them before. Further, would it be enough if I could never give you peace? Shows that life with the sea god and with a world-renowned artist is complicated. Raphael also gets Hoax for its overall sad vibes. He will also get The Lakes, as it's poetically sad, and with my calamitous love and insurmountable grief reflecting how his love across timelines leads to tragedy. Now onto its sister album, Evermore. Starting with one that could have gone to anyone, I decided to give Willow to Zane. For the vibes and the lyrics, show me the places where the others gave you scars, cause he tends to wear long sleeves as he's got scars all over his arms. Champagne Problems goes to Xavier, and the line, I was never ready, so I watched you go, sometimes you just don't know the answer till someone's on their knees and asks you, reminds me of the event for Xavier's new myth where Knight Xavier asked Royal MC to run away with him. Silas gets Gold Rush as gleaming, twinkling, eyes like sinking ships on waters so inviting I almost jump in, remind me of his protocol eye. Caleb gets Tis the Damn Season for the lost love and hometown Hallmark movie cozy vibes. Tolerated is a skip. Raphael gets Nobody No Crime because it's implied that he got rid of Raymond, the rich guy with the Lemurian skeleton in his living room. Happiness is a skip. Dorothea goes to Caleb for the school day friend/past relationship vibes. Coney Island is a skip. For its Zane, Astra, MC vibes, he gets Ivy. Silas gets Cowboy Like Me, and you asked me to dance, but I said dancing is a dangerous game. Reminds me of him and MC dancing at the auction in the main story. Further in this lyric, hustling for the good life refers to tiny Silas arriving on Earth and doing his best to survive and gain power. We could be the way forward, meaning him and MC being together, but she knows she'll pay for it as it may threaten her career as a hunter. Long story short could go to any love interest, but I gave it to Zane. The line right down the rabbit hole mirrors 1989's Wonderland, which also went to Zane. Further, we live in peace, but if someone comes at us this time I'm ready, could be seen as a positive outcome for the boy, should he have to go against Astra in the current timeline. Marjorie and Closure are skips. Evermore goes to Zane. In the cracks of light I dreamed of you. It was real enough to get me through, but I swear you were there. Reminds me of Dawnbreaker. Plus, while it's sad, it's got a hopeful vibe towards the end, with I had a feeling so peculiar this pain wouldn't be forevermore. Raphael gets right where you left me, since he keeps losing his beloved bride. Zane gets it's time to go, since he leaves his job in the latest chapter of the main story. And with that, we're on to Midnights. Lavender Haze goes to Silas for the meet me at midnight, because he's nocturnal, plus the overall vibe. He also gets Maroon. Red went to him, so this does too. Since MC's the MC, she gets Anti-Hero. Zane gets Snow on the Beach because it reminds me of the Midsummer banner. Contrastingly, from the lyric, flying in a dream, stars by the pocketful, you wanting me tonight feels impossible, you could look at this through a Dawnbreaker lens. You're on Your Own Kid goes to MC because regardless of what life she's pursued, she's always given her blood, sweat and tears for this. Midnight Rain goes to Xavier because he was sunshine. Caleb gets Question as, did you ever have someone kiss you in a crowded room and every single one of your friends was making fun of you? Reminding me of the art from his 4-star card Stage Observer, which shows us his graduation from the Aerospace Academy. Now, you would think vigilante shit would go to Silas for the vibes. However, I think it fits better with Raphael for the Raymond plot. MC gets Bejeweled because when I walk in the room, I can still make the whole place shimmer is so accurate, especially with some of the pieces in her closet. And did you see that we're getting the Jimmy Choo Cinderella shoes in game? Labyrinth goes to Caleb because the song mentions planes. You could also see this song from MC's perspective when she finds out that Caleb is alive and their relationship from there on out. For the same reason as vigilante shit, Raphael gets Karma. Silas gets Sweet Nothing as it feels like something he would hum along to, and in the standard myth, he literally is in the kitchen humming. He also gets Mastermind as he gets separated from MC when they were children, somehow ends up on the planet that she ended up on, builds an empire, and then comes back into her life. And that's some Mastermind level behavior. The Great War gives current timeline Raphael vibes, with I drew curtains closed, drank my poison all alone, reminding me of Raphael's meeting with the Ever CEO. And he did vow I would always be yours, because the Murian sea god and bride. Xavier gets bigger than the whole sky, because everyone suspected that MC was pregnant in the King Xavier myth. Paris goes to Silas for the overall vibes, and the secret relationship aspect as romance is not dead if you keep it just yours. High infidelity is a skip. Caleb gets Glitch. The lyric, we were supposed to be just friends, you don't live in my part of town, but maybe I'll see you out some weekend, just fits their relationship. And I'm fastening myself to you with a stitch, gives the vibes of an obsessive attachment style that Caleb seems to have. Would've, could've, should've is a skip because it's the sort of pain that doesn't fit the game. Dear Reader goes to Xavier since he's an avid reader, because book characters won't leave you over time. So sad. To a House Not a Home, all alone because nobody's there, shows the loneliness of his 200 plus years of waiting, and he literally shines so bright because light evil. Hits different and You're Losing Me are skips. Alright, we're finally on to the 11th album, The Tortured Poets Department. Since this is such a large album, at 31 songs, I'm going to say all the skips first, and then fill in the blanks. Okay, our skips are Fortnite, The Tortured Poets Department, My Boy Only Breaks His Favourite Toys, So Long London, Florida, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, The Black Dog, Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus, How Did It End, Thank You Amy, Robin, and The Manuscript. Now going back, Caleb gets Down Bad, since it feels like a song in MC's POV in the aftermath of the explosion. Silas felt like the obvious choice for But Daddy I Love Him, not just for the overall vibes, but it could also be seen through the lens of the dragon myth, with lyrics like, I know he's crazy but he's the one I want, he was chaos, he was revelry, thinking it can change the beat of my heart when he touches me and counteract the chemistry and undo the destiny. You ain't gotta pray for me and my wild boy and all of this wild joy. It just makes sense. It's not a strong reason, but Raphael gets fresh out the slammer because the line, "Ain't no way I'm gonna screw up now that I know what's at stake here, at the park where we used to sit on children's swings, wearing imaginary rings, but it's gonna be alright, I did my time," feels like the sea god finally has his beloved bride. Guilty as sin could be argued for any of them, but I went with Caleb because it's got that yearning. MC gets Who's Afraid of Little Old Me because the girl's been through a lot. Silas gets I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can, mainly for the vibes of his hand so calloused from his pistol softly traces hearts on my face, and Trust Me, I Can Handle Me a Dangerous Man. Loss of My Life goes to Raphael, since the lines, "I wish I could unrecall how we almost had it all. If you know in one glimpse it's legendary. What we thought was for all time was momentary," feels like the aftermath of a sea god losing his bride. MC gets I Can Do It With a Broken Heart for the general vibe, but this song specifically applies for any timeline where she survives, but the love interest doesn't. The alchemy could be given to any of them, but I ultimately gave it to Silas. The line, "Where's the trophy? He just comes running over to me," reminds me of his Radiant Brilliance memory, where he gives MC the boxing championship ring. Further, the transition of "I haven't come around in so long, but I'm coming back so strong," to "but I'm making a comeback to where I belong," could represent Silas arriving on Earth, building his power, and then coming back to MC's side. MC gets Clara Bow, since she lived multiple lives, and the love interests who have their memories may think of how she previously looked in other incarnations. I'm Gonna Get You Back goes to Silas, as it's got that antagonistic quality that reminds me of the start of their relationship in the main timeline. And the line, "Even if it's handcuffed, I'm leaving here with you," reminds me of the Evil linkage. He also gets the Albatross, because it made me immediately think of the dragon myth, with his transformation from monster to lover shown in the change from "She's the Albatross, she is here to destroy you," to "The devil that you know looks now more like an angel." Caleb gets So High School, because high school, duh. He also played basketball in school, so he does know how to ball. And should his yearning be successful, "You know what you wanted and boy you got her" would be accurate. Zane gets I Hate It Here. It's a stretch, but you could link "It was freezing in the palace" to it being freezing in the library in the Forcia myth. However, with "I'm lonely but I'm good, I'm bitter but I swear I'm fine, I'll save all my romanticism for my inner life," could be seen through a Dawnbreaker lens when he's looking into the life of the current timeline Zane. I Look in People's Windows goes to Xavier, as we know current timeline Xavier was waiting and looking for MC, which is reflected in the line, "I look in people's windows in case you're at the table. What if your eyes looked up and met mine one more time? And I tried searching faces on streets, what are the chances you'd be downtown?" The prophecy goes to Zane, as the title has Forcia vibes, but also because the boy has died in every timeline we've seen, except the current one, so maybe he's changing his prophecy, who's to say. He's also getting Cassandra, as it's got those general sad vibes, but also "I was in my tower weaving nightmares" also gives Forcia. Zane's also getting Peter. I see this as MC's perspective, wondering if her childhood friend would re-enter her life as she's letting the lamp burn, because she doesn't remember the accident, so she doesn't know why he's staying away. And finally, MC gets the Bolter, since if she gets back every memory she's forgotten in this current timeline, and all the alternative timelines, all her many lives would have literally flashed before her eyes. And with that, we've gotten through all of the albums. Hi, it's MJ from the future, and Life of the Showgirl was announced. I think it may be out by the time anyone probably sees this. Maybe I'll make an updated version if anyone is interested. Let me know in the comments. Now, time for breakdowns. Xavier ends up with 28 songs spread across all eras, and as assumed at the beginning of the video, Fearless was his largest era with 8 songs, or 28.5% of his playlist. Raphael has 30 songs in his, with no songs in Debut or Lover. At the beginning, I assumed Speak Now would be his main era. It came in second, accounting for 6 songs or 20%. of his playlist. His main era is folklore with 7 songs, or 23.33%. Zayn has 29 songs, with none coming from Fearless or Reputation. Surprisingly, his main era isn't Evermore like I assumed, which came in tied second with Speak Now at 5 songs each, but Red with 6 songs. Silas got 35 songs, with at least 1 song in every era. As predicted, Reputation was his main, with 6 songs or 17.14% of his playlist. Interestingly, Red, Midnight and TTPD came in at second, with 5 songs each. Caleb has the largest playlist of the boys, coming out at a whopping 42 songs. Shockingly, his largest era wasn't 1989. That came second. And not just second, but a tied second with Red and Lover, at 5 songs each, but rather Fearless, with 7 songs. He's also got a strong showing in most eras. I think this may be because many Taylor songs have a yearning within them, and no one yearns like Caleb. Our Skips playlist is the largest playlist with 52 songs across all eras, with the largest coming from TTPD. MC has 19 songs, with none from Fearless, Rep, or Evermore. Her largest era was The Tortured Poets at 4 songs, with Speak Now, Lover, and Midnights tying at second for 3 songs each. Alternatively, instead of looking at the breakdown of songs in each boy's playlist, you could look at each era and assign it a lad's guy. In doing so, Debut goes to Caleb with 4 songs. Fearless goes to Xavier with 8 songs. Speak Now goes to Raphael with 6 songs. Red goes to Zayn with 6 songs. 1989 goes to Caleb with 5. Reputation goes to Silas with 6. Lover goes to Caleb with 5. Folklore goes to Raphael with 7. Evermore goes to Zayn with 5. Midnights goes to Silas with 5. And The Tortured Poets will also go to Silas again with 5 songs. And just by looking at these assignments alone, these feel intuitively right to me. If you logged in and made it to this part of the video, honestly thank you. It's probably really long as it's 15 pages of writing and months of thought and work, so I truly appreciate it. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my playlist or if you'd make a case to change any songs around. Maybe I'll make a revised version. Let me know if you'd be interested. In case you need a reminder, I'll put up a list of each playlist after I finish talking. Anyways, thanks for sticking around. You really don't know how much that means. And I'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, bye!